This indeed is the Eastern Business Report, which is designed to bring you up to speed on business activities and policies affecting businesses and the economy of the Southeastern region of Nigeria. It comes right after Global Business on the Afia Business Morning. And on today's edition of the Eastern Business Report, we will be looking at harnessing technology and digital entrepreneurship, the gateway global opportunities. My name is Ubon Kings. Welcome to the Eastern Business Report. Welcome back to this Business Report, and like I did say before the break, we're going to be looking at pretty much harnessing, as it were, harnessing all the goodies that technology and digital entrepreneurship can bring to Nigerians, and more specifically the southeastern part of Nigeria. It is reported that in a fast-paced world, or this fast-paced world of business, staying ahead of the curve is crucial for sustainable success. Harnessing technology to ignite rapid business growth has become a cornerstone for organizations seeking to innovate, expand, and thrive. Digital transformation lies at the heart of harnessing technology for business growth. Embracing cloud computing, data analytics, artificial intelligence, AI, and the Internet of Things, IoT, can revolutionize how businesses operate. Now, these advancements enable real-time data analysis, predictive insights, and personalized customer interactions, leading to improved decision-making and enhanced customer satisfaction. Now, joining me on this conversation this morning is none other than Golibe Ilechukwu, who is a digital entrepreneur and business leader. It's good to have you join us. Good morning.
Thank you for having me.
And I should say Happy New Year.
Same to
First
you.
time meeting you anyway. But let's get into this conversation proper, all right? Now, I just gave a little intro to this subject, but what are your thoughts generally when it comes to the place of technology and digital entrepreneurship, first in the global space?
Okay, we need to understand as humans, from time immemorial, we look to make life easier for ourselves. And that's how technology came into place. How do we make life easier? How do we make life better? And that is how technology came into the fold, and the same thing with entrepreneurship. Digital entrepreneurship, technology in entrepreneurship is how do we make entrepreneurship way easier, right? Entrepreneurship is simply solving problems, creating unique solutions to problems, but now over the internet, over the digital space, right? So that's basically what digital entrepreneurship is, creating unique solutions to problems over the digital space.
Interesting. So now, from your observation, from your standpoint, really, how would you rate that innovation as compared to what we have in Africa and Nigeria more specifically? I mean, we've seen these things play out a whole lot in artificial intelligence, and in other climes, people are using it to solve a whole lot of problems for themselves and pretty much making money on the side. But over here in this part of the world, not seen so much, but you're in this space, so tell us, what's it been like?
Africans, Nigerians, we are beginning to accept these things. It's bigger in the Western world, of course. I visited Namibia, which is Southern Africa, to speak on this, and Eastern Africa to speak on this particular topic. And you will notice that most people are still stuck on the traditional way of doing things. Like if we bring it home to Okonkwo and Sons, right? You wonder, Okonkwo and Sons, why does this inheritance never reach the sons, right? It seems like Igbo businesses die off, right? I don't want to start naming some names, but some transport companies that don't exist till today. But if you go to the Asian world, you see that they stay for like 100 years, 200 years, one company, because the next generation, they learn to innovate. And the best form of innovation now is taking things to the digital space, embracing artificial intelligence and the rest, right? I have a degree in computer engineering, but after that, I got into, business full-time in the digital space. I'm about 10 years, almost 10 years now in the digital space, digital entrepreneurship. And you see that Nigeria, Africa as a whole, we are still trying to catch up. Meanwhile, we should be the one leading because we have the biggest workforce in the world. In a few years' time, 1 in every 4 people on earth will be an African. So we have a huge youth explosion coming up, and we need to start to take advantage of it. That's why, it's amazing what you're doing and Afia is doing in having conversations like this to create more awareness for people concerning the digital space.
Okay, now let's talk about this digital space a little more in depth,
okay.
Right? It's one thing, on one hand, to own a business. It's another thing to incorporate, digital transformation and all of that into one's business. But do you think, or do you see a typical average Igbo businessman being able to make that switch seamlessly in the next, say, 3 years?
Like I said, technology came to make life easy,
right?
So when you say seamless, it's like picking up your phone, taking pictures of your laptop and putting on Instagram. I know people in Lagos, right, who they sell all their goods on the internet. The way here we have stores selling laptops, phones. These guys, they make a killing. I mean, millions, hundreds of millions selling gadgets. Because, of course, the youth population love gadgets, right? Everybody wants an iPhone or whatever. So you see that it is really easy when we think about it. The only thing is we need just the right information. We need the right exposure. Because most people don't even know these things are possible. That's the main thing. Information, exposure. And I'm sure we'll take it up from there. The thing is, some Igbo people like us, they are not yet ready to accept it. But by the time they see the ease that technology brings in them doing business, everybody's in business to make profits, right?
Yeah.
By the time they see that, of course, I'm sure they will hop on it. It's easy.
Okay, now let's narrow this down very quickly. Okay,
Sure.
We've been able to establish a few things. One of the things we'll be able to establish is the fact that digitalization has come to stay.
Whether we like it.
Yeah, whether you like it or not, we've established that it's come to stay. The next thing is finding out whether or not the people are ready. And from your observation, clearly, we're just. Somebody was saying something. He said it's more like how you say we're booting, compared to other clients. But really, what really can be done to further accelerate this booting, if I want to use that phrase, to help the Enugu more specifically to come up to speed to its counterparts, even in Lagos, because I know that quite a lot of communities or persons in Lagos actually embrace this as far as their business is concerned. I mean, you gave examples, and it doesn't appear that is pretty much what it is in this part of the world. So how can we step up, really, to that space?
It needs to start with simple initiatives, from the government, from individuals. Instead of only talking about formal education, traditional education, we need to start talking about learning digital skills. If we can penetrate the market with digital skills or learn things like copywriting, learn digital marketing, learn data analysis, if you can start to push this narrative and people start to learn them. I remember when computer lessons were the in thing, right?
Yeah, back in the day, yeah.
So things like that, if we start to push it, telling people that, see, they need to learn digital skills because we're in a digital world, and not just for learning's sake. You can make a lot of money from it because people, by humans' innate desires, and humans are selfish. We think about our self-interest, whether we like it or not, right? So in this case, you need to pander to that, which is, okay, see, you can make money from this, you can become a global citizen from this. I know the opportunities I've gotten globally. Like I said, I've traveled to a few countries because of this. Because this is the only way you can sit where you are, press your phone, and connect with the whole world. The world is now a global village. I don't know why we are taking so long to adopt this. This has been happening for, say, 25 years, right? So I feel we should get into the program as soon as possible.
Okay. We'll just take a short break, and then we'll get back into the program, I promise. And we're still talking about harnessing technology and digital entrepreneurship, which, of course, he said, he has made it very clear that it's going to be the gateway to a world of global opportunities. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Please stay. Southeastern Business Report right here on Afia TV, and we're going to resume this conversation. My guest is still there with me. I still have with me in the studio Golibe Ilechuku, who is a digital entrepreneur and a business leader. And we've been talking pretty much about the technology and digital entrepreneurship and all the things it could bring to the fore. And before the break, he said quite some fundamental things that has pretty much given us a foundation to this conversation, and we're going to be taking up from here. So first of all, let's take a look at what you've been able to do in your space with reference to this technology and digital entrepreneurship. What have you been able to achieve thus far?
So when I started out with digital marketing. I was helping different businesses scale on the digital space. So I help businesses make millions of dollars in sales, and I noticed a gap. That's when in the African space. So I started talking about these things. And when I started talking about these things, well, I've gotten almost 500,000 followers across social media. You know, people got interested. And this was way back in 2020 up till now. So I've been actively talking about this for about 5 years now. And yeah, that's what we have been able to do. And because of that, we have gotten opportunities from across the world, visiting different countries, speaking on this, and just impacting thousands of people from across the world, Africans in particular, you know, speaking to them and teaching them about these things.
Yeah, it does appear that this will appeal naturally to young people, right?
Yes.
But how do you make this appeal to one Mr. Okafor, who has a shop at the line, whatever, at one with the market, main market,
exactly,
who does not even have access to all of these things? How do you sell this possibility of scaling his business to him in the digital space?
Like I pointed out earlier, right? We have this Okonkwo and Sons Limited that never gets to the Sons. Right? Why is it that Igbo businesses never transition into actually the Sons getting in, expanding this thing, or so on and so forth? Right? Igbo businesses don't last. It starts and dies with the founder. I don't want to give some names, but we know banks that have folded and banks that were swallowed by other banks. Right? A famous one that we know of. Right? So you see that these banks that were swallowed by other banks, why did these things happen? Some of them, number one, they don't adopt digital processes. And some of them, we don't want to get into other parts where they don't train, you know, the right people to take over them, to succeed them.
Right.
But you see that if we can tell these people how it will benefit them, like I said, we are humans, we're selfish by nature, right? If we can tell these Igbo traders, these petty traders, how we can benefit them and show them some sample sizes of people who have done these things in the past, it's going to be a big one. Because one thing about the internet is it's a global village. You can stay here, place an order for anything, anywhere in the world, and it can get to you in less than a week, right? So if we want to get the older demographic, we need to start to tell them that, see, these your traditional businesses can scale, and this is how. You start with little things like maybe social media marketing, you know, on Instagram and the rest, showing them how they can get customers through these things, and it will take up from there.
Now, I think one of the major issues some persons have faced will be the place of, for lack of a better expression, let's call it safety of transactions, where you're told to, you know, you see a good or service, you pay, and then, you know, that's cliche. They say what you ordered, no, what you pay for versus what you ordered. Yeah, you could do that. Sometimes they send you something that was not what you paid for, or sometimes you don't even get it at all.
Yeah.
Now, how do you navigate that uncertainty right there?
Yeah, so all these things, there are solutions to them. You know, we have videos, you can easily quantify those things. For example, someone wants to buy a piece of suit. You know, you do a proper video about it. It's not just pictures uploaded. We have passed that level. You know, we have not even gotten to talking about artificial intelligence in this segment, right? Because the African space is yet to adopt the digital entrepreneurship space, the digital business space, and AI is already coming up.
Yeah.
So AI is like phase 2, it's like 2.0, and we are still trying to get a grasp of 1.0. So with AI, the things that we can do will be unimaginable, and that's what will help solve problems like what you just mentioned more and more. People will be able to the extent of even perceive what they're about to buy. There are technologies coming out that people will be able to perceive sort of movies they are watching. It's crazy. Artificial intelligence is crazy.
Okay, now let's okay. Well, I wanted to say let's stick with the one we have now. but that notwithstanding, artificial intelligence has come to stay. That's the truth. There's no gainsaying about that. But do you think Nigeria? Do you think we're ready for this? Do you think infrastructure-wise? Do you think just recently we heard there's an increase in airtime tariff, etc., and that also affect data? Do you think we're even ready for all of this? Really, frankly speaking.
I believe it's a two-way street, right? On one hand, we are not done solving basic amenities, basic problems, trying to solve those problems, you know. And on the other hand, we have young people who can start to find their own paths, right? They must not, you know, dwell in the sins of their parents, right? The generations before us, they should have solved these problems. We shouldn't be talking about power supply. Nobody's talking about that outside Africa. Now they're talking about innovation. But the African man wants life, wants to eat first before they can talk about innovation. You know, so this is why I advise people, copy the Western world. Don't try to invent. We're not ready for that. Copy as fast as possible. Leave innovation for the white man.
I think that's a good place to leave this conversation, really. But a lot of things to go back and see. And in case you don't know, you may want to get to our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. This video is live right there, right now. Go to www.youtube.com/Afia Business. While you're there, do well to hit the like button. Remember, you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. Oh, well, that's as much we can take. And I had with me in the studio Golibe Ilechuku, who is a digital entrepreneur and business leader. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
All right, then, this will be the size of the package today on the Eastern Business Report. You're still watching the Afia Business Morning live from Enugu State, Nigeria. And just so you know, coming up next will be Onye Afia right after this timeout. My name is Ubong Kings. Stay tuned.
What are your thoughts on the spate of sex for grades in Nigerian universities?
This very issue of paying salary should be criminalized.
How can they amplify their voices?
People don't have evidence.
You want to get to know about it? Have to stay tuned right here on Afia Morning Show to get the pulse and the feel of that.